Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness, how about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor, week 15 on the 2022-2023 PGA Tour, the Waste Management Phoenix Open. We are done with the course rotations and weird cuts and delay. Well, maybe not delayed weather. I don't think we'll get any delays this week, but certainly the multiple course wind weather is impacted like it has been the last couple weeks. Makes it even more difficult. We get a normal 36-hole cut event, Super Bowl week, exciting week all the way around. I was actually at the Waste Management the last time the Super Bowl was also there. So fun week there. Last week, you know, this is early Tuesday morning. I'll have this out around lunchtime. We ended late or mid-morning, about noon, I guess. What time it ended? Somewhere around there. Depends on where you're at. Justin Rose getting it done. Thank goodness, because he saved my week. The withdrawals kind of hurt. You know, Mav withdrew. I think he was within 2 shots at that time. I can't remember for sure. Lashley withdrawing really hurt. And I don't know if he was Monday queuing or what his reasoning for not sticking around and trying to make the cut, because he was 2 back of the cut. I think he was +1 Sunday night. And so he had the chance to, well, Saturday night, sorry. Could have come back Sunday morning, shoot 2 under his last 7-8 holes, how much left, and make the cut, but he chose to withdraw. That one hurt a little bit. So I had a 3 of 6 in my bullet, but it still cashed in the $200 single entry. I don't know if I've ever had 3 of 6 cash in something like that. It's been a while if it has, but Rose and Pendrith were on that team. That was, you know, big Monday, Sunday, round 4. What's called round 4 for Pendrith in general. Really helped, and then Rose winning at both of them were very low owned in the $200 single entry. At least saved the week, made it, you know, palatable. Other than that, it was, you know, some rough withdrawals hurt. Matchups went 3-3. No outright hit, obviously. For as much as I had Rose everywhere, I'm surprised I didn't bet him. And I know I talked about him. He's in my core, you know, in the final write-up and stuff, but did not get the bet on him. Several people did, and some people even added him live at some 25 to 30 numbers in the Slack channel. Big weeks all the way around. Yinzer 84, he smashed for over 4 figures this week. He also won the listener league, so got him added. TK turned $109 into over $1,000. Justin Sullivan $600 into $5,700, including a 4444 ticket for next week's Riv, so that'll be fun. Chappie turns $15 into $400. So just a few of the highlights from the channel. If you'd like to join us right now, as football season officially comes to an end this Sunday, get going. We got some really good tournaments coming up on the PGA Tour schedule. Smash gets you 20% off any package. We only have 2. It's either content or full site. And so content means you get all the content we put out. Full site, you get all the content, plus you have access to the golf tools, the NFL tools, and the Green Machine lineup optimizer. So, you know, if you use that 20% off, the content, you can get it for $7 a week, $20 a month, or $143 annually, which comes out to like $12 a month. Full site, you can get it for $16 a week, $40 a month, or $279 annually, which comes out to $23 a month. Still great prices there. When you use the code SMASH, it includes a 7-day risk-free trial. So be sure to come check us out. Rate and review us on iTunes. I'll be doing big drawings. Probably do some drawings next week. Get a big millie maker on DraftKings. First time it's been a millie maker outside of the players or a major, so that's exciting. Anytime we do the giveaways, I look at everybody's rate and reviewed us, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. Like this video. In the comment section, tell me your favorite play in the 10K range. We got 5 guys up there. all pluses and minuses. It's going to be interesting to dissect all that this week. Tell me your favorite play. That'll get you into the drawings as well. Listener League bumped up this week to 250. Let's get it full quick. Try to get it, keep building as we get to the players and then eventually the Masters. Last year, I think we got it to 750 for the Masters. Let's see if we can get it to 500 or something before the players as a first goal there. Like I said, last week's winner, his DK handle is Luke412, but it was Yinzer 84. 562. He would have smashed a ton of contests. So, and he did, but he would have smashed even more. Just looking at overall scores, it was a very, very, very good lineup. He had Rose, McCarthy, Moore, Stallings, S.H. Kim, and Hostler. Great week for him. Join now. The link is in the description. Let's fill that thing up. Course preview, TPC Scottsdale. Very familiar with this course. They've been here for many, many years, decades. Renovation since 2014, but most of that I look at now is 2017 on, so nothing new there per se. It's, for the stuff we're looking at, pretty consistent in that time period. Full breakdown, you can check it on the website from Kenny Kim. Par 71, 7,200. There's some elevation here, so play shorter than that. Par 5 are some of the easiest on tour. Bermuda greens, but they play. If I was going to look at anything, it played more like bent than anything. We year in and year out. My notes always say pure rolling greens could help. Not as good putters, but maybe better putters, even better. But anytime you get a place where like Matsu's one, people like that, you can tell the putting's not as significant as most weeks. This is the time of year where you slowly start to weight recent form and course history a little bit more here. Recent form more than anything, just because we're getting, several weeks. These guys have come back, weight that, how they're looking since the reboot of not as much of the fall swing, more of what's going on now. Now, some of these guys have been over on Euro, so you got to kind of do a deep dive and look at all that as well. Course history, guys that have played well here play well quite often. So a slight tick up to it. I don't factor in course fit, course history a whole lot into my whole algorithm, if you will, but it does get a slight bump this week. I've had good betting weeks here. 2018, 19, and 2021 hit the outrights here. 2018, we had Woodland before the tournament and then hit him after round 3 for a double hit. 2019, we had DJ and Fowler for the double, 142 to 1. I want to say, DJ was over, I don't know if it was Saudi or what that year. And then 2021, we had Brooks 40 to 1. So hopefully we get another outright here. Has plenty of success here so far, which is great. You hit an outright leading into the Super Bowl. It's always a positive. Throw a few bucks on what side you're on for the Super Bowl. Weather looks great. 70, sunny, no rain. There is some wind uptick right now, Thursday afternoon. Nothing crazy. But it is significantly stronger than any other part of the pre-cut. So keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on it. I don't know that it'll be that big of a deal to do any kind of draws, but we'll always want to keep an eye on it. At least we get same course. Everybody's playing the same time. You will have a little bit more of a natural draw, AM, PM, PM, AM, but everybody's on the same track. So a little bit better than 3 different course or 2 different course type situation. Cut probably around -2, -3. Overall winner around that -17, 18 type number. Been pretty consistent there since the redo. 16, 19, 17, 17, 18, 17, 14, 15, 16. So you're all in that range is where the winner seems to wind up. Past winners, Scheffler last year, of course, Brooks twice, Matsu twice, Fowler, Webb, Woodland. Runner-ups, Cantley, KH Lee, Xander, Finau. I was there. That was the year I was there. Finau, Webb, Grace, Webb, another runner-up. Fowler, another runner-up. Matsu, runner-up. So some consistency there. On some of the same guys popping up there. Key stats I'm looking at this week: good drives, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, par 5 DK scoring, birdie or better, and stroke gain irons. Looking at a little bit of around the green mixed with approach there. 22 guys new since 2017, which is kind of low from what we've been. There are a lot of these guys that play this place at least once since 2017. 22 is a little bit of a low number, plus some of the Monday cues from last night that'll get added as well. Salary ranges, Similar to a major. I mean, 14 from 9K and up is pretty high. We don't get much higher than that, even in majors, but certainly right now, non-major, that kind of deal. 5 in the 10K, 9 in the 9K, 8K gets 9, 7K gets 37, and 6K gets 73. So you can see right now, 110 of the entire field is $7,900 or less. The Monday Qs will certainly be in the 6 and 7K as well. So what's that leave us with? We got 23 guys, 8,000 and above. But you can see that when you have 14 guys, 9K and above, you got to load up that 7 and 6 to kind of make all the algorithms work. So, interesting week, great strategy week. A lot will come down to, being on your guys. Try not to spread yourself out too thin. Up top, if you want to take the approach of, locking in a few down bottom and then spreading out, that's certainly one way to go about it. Plant your flag up top on a few, fade a few. That's another way, because it's going to be, razor thin on the margins between a lot of these guys up here. There's going to be some clear ownership. I think it'll be spread out for the most part, but there'll be 2 or 3 guys in that, 14 out of that 14 that are going to come in significantly low. And do you want to take the chance there and take your leverage there? It should be a fun week all the way around. 9, same format for me as always. Sweet 16. I'll give you 3 in each salary range and a bubble boy. Fade of the week, sleeper of the week, 4 gut field plays, betting top 5 that pop in 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks and Underdog. Then my first look, one and done. Then we'll get out of here and come back for final thoughts tomorrow, and then E9 tomorrow night, where Kenny should be joining me as we have an elevated event. So that'll be fun as well. Kick it off. I like Scheffler. I think Roy Rahm will get theirs for sure. Xander has great history here. He's the cheapest of the 10K. Finau just seems to always be a little more popular than what most people think. I don't know if the course history will hurt. He does have a second here back in 2020. Then he has 4 missed cuts. So he's coming in great form, a 16th and 9th, 10-1. That'll be one of the key spots of trying to predict how that rolls. I think Scheffler may just kind of get lost there. I think people go Roy Rahm or they drop. And so I like Scheffler a lot. I think the course sets up well for him. Obviously, he won here last year, but he had a 7th year before. Missed a cut first time ever out here. I think that was the COVID year, but so 7th first, he had 11th at Amex, and really his only thing that's kind of been off, his last few tournaments have been the putting a little bit, and I think that's something here that we can downgrade a ton, and I do think he's just going to be a little bit lower owned, and that's the main reason why I like him. It's not, I don't think he's necessarily, this isn't, especially up here, it's not going to be like this guy's clearly better type situation. It's more of pricing, ownership, upside, all that kind of thing mixed in, and then where do you take your stand at? And I like him a lot. Cantley 9,500, I like a lot. Probably will get some ownership. He's only played this course once. He got a second. 26 at the Amex, which I like. You kind of shake off the rust there. First in my putting model, first in my course fit, 8th in recent form, 3rd in stats. Solid way across the board, and kind of a price discount from the other guys up top. And I don't know that I think he's much less talented or ceiling than any of those guys. I mean, I could start some lineups with Cantley and be perfectly fine with it this week. Good drives, 12th. Opportunities at the 18 feet, 7th. 11th in birdie or better. 5th or 9th in par 5 DK. Since January, I've said, high on him this year. I think he's going to have a big year. And I think he may have a chance to break through for his first major. So I like it. $9,500. Definitely like him a lot. The next 2 you could intertwine. One's a bubble boy. I think they're both going to be popular. Do you play them both? It probably to me will come down to how you handle Roy and Rahm. But Kim and M, right? Which one do you fade? I think they're both popular. Like I said, I think a lot of builds could start. You take Roy, Rahm, Kim, and M, and those 4 probably are a pretty common starting point. M's the one I think will be more popular personally, and so I have him as the bubble boy. So Kim, I I think people will see his any kind of strong driving you look at. He's not going to rank up there with some of the big boys, but everything else he's really solid on. Opportunities on 18 feet first, birdie or better first, stroke gain irons third, 6 at the Amex. I think the knock per se, and I think it's real tight, but people are trying to look for, any kind of hope there would be he's never played here, and Sungjae has, and Sungjae's made 3 straight cuts, 3 straight top 34s, a 17th and a 7th type deal. And Sungjae's coming in with an 18th and a 4th, just similar to him. So, but if you're only playing one, it's tight there. You make a play 2, and maybe that's a way to get a little bit different and not have Roy or Rahm, because it's going to be tough to go Roy or Rahm and try to get both those guys in. But if you go, like I mentioned earlier, Cantley, M, Kim, maybe a little bit different build than what some do this week. So I lean Kim as my play, and because I think he will be a little less owned than Sungjae, but just barely. 8K range, probably the guy that's going to be chalky, and I just don't care. I'm just going to play him, is Cam Young. It's so funny looking back. I think last week I mentioned, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that Torrey, he was my dock of the week, $6,600. He came in like under 2%. We certainly miss those days. But, second place last week overseas, they used to kind of be a thing, them traveling, coming back, stuff like that. I don't think many people even factor that much anymore. He's number 1 statistically for me overall, 32nd in recent form, 26th here last year. 26th at Amex. Again, he had 2nd last week overseas. 4th in good drive. 1st in approach. 8th in opportunities at 18 feet. Really, similar. Some of his weaknesses been putting as well. So does he pull a breakthrough kind of like Scheffler did? I don't hate it. And so I like him a lot. He's a chalk piece. I know he's going to be chalky. I just know it. So I know I'm going to be on him. Knowing that, I know I got to make some cuts elsewhere on the chalk and build around it. Theegala could get some ownership. He had a heartbreaking loss here last year, finished 3rd. I think he went in the water on 17. 4th at the Farmers, 54th at Amex, 3rd for the course fit. His stats are okay. I think he'll get a little downgrade on some, but the 8,500 mark is good. I think the AK range will probably overall be lower owned in general, just because of, I think, outside of Young, I think so many people are going to go so much of the 10 and 9K range that if you can get comfortable with a couple guys in the 8K range, you could get some good leverage this week. He's one I don't mind taking a chance on. Just sum it up. All five of the 10K range guys in my first initial, model pooling, all that stuff were my top 6. That doesn't happen very often, but that's how strong the field is this week. $8,500, don't mind having him, probably be lower owned, so don't have to get too much of him to get overweight. He just got huge upside. I like his pedigree. I played him a lot in the last year, and I'm going to continue to do so. Hatton's a guy that I think I can get pretty good leverage on this week. Had a good run over in Euro lately. He's kind of been out of mind, out of sight, out of mind type of deal. Hasn't played over here in a little while. 15th back here in 2019. That's the only time he played here. I like that. Stats are just okay, but when you start digging into what he's been doing over in Euro, I think he's going to get a bump by the time we do the deep dive. 31st in the putting model as well. Always, it's small. I'm not looking at it too much, but I just think I'm not going to be big on this 8K range in general. And so Young, I'm playing plenty of, and then Theegala and Hatton were kind of the two that stuck out with Fowler. I like Fowler, but I have a feeling we may start getting back a little bit towards the old Fowler. And, he wasn't like Tiger or Spieth or anybody, but he certainly can get popular in DraftKings. I don't know that I want to play a chalky Fowler. If he's reasonably at ownership at the 8K price, I certainly will have some, but that's why he's the bubble boy. Because I think not only is he, coming on, we're seeing some progress, but he's the cheapest in the 8K range. So it's easy to drop down to him if people want to get there. So that's the only reason why I went, him as the bubble boy. 7K range, Corey Connors. Man, a lot of the things I look at, I just kind of feel like he maybe mispriced a little bit. I think he should be up a little bit. Maybe he gets popular because of that. 12th at Sony. He's strong off the tee. We know his weakness is can he putt or not. This is the type of course that can, we've talked about that, Matsu, that kind of stuff. 3 straight made cuts here. 45th, 17th, and 38th. that would make us okay. We'd be satisfied. Well, the 17th would be great with a $7,700 guy. But any of those, you're like, all right, he did at least his job or a little better, but he's got the upside. So at that price, we're going to need a lot of the 7K guys, 6Ks. It's okay. There's a few I like. But I like Connors a lot. 11th in stroke gain irons, 12th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 5th in good approach, 9th in good drives, 9th in recent form. Good price, sticks out. Like him a lot. Keith Mitchell, we just saw him. I took a pretty aggressive approach again on the weather draw stacks, all that kind of stuff. And I loved Mitchell last week, but he was one I got off of just because of I only played a couple guys that were going to finish Pebble. We thought finish Pebble in the bad winds, but they didn't wind up playing that much of it Saturday, which is always a risk. But man, he looked good. You know, I think he mentioned a little frustration, slow play down the stretch. Couldn't make a putt, save his life. Hit the ball great. Finished 4th. This course should suit him well. 3 out of 4 made cuts here. A 73rd, 16th miscut 10th. So 2 top 16s out of 4 years. 3 made cuts. I like that. 22nd at Amex. 4th at Pebble. Love the price. Love some Keith Mitchell this week. $7,400. KH Lee, TPC Lee, $7,500. I like him as well. A miscut here in 2020, and then a 2nd and 38th. 28th at Sony, missed a cut at Amex, not holding that against him too much. 15th in par 5 DK scoring, 40th in birdie or better, 15th in good approach. Course fit, 22nd. You know, all these, nothing just like pop into 15th in good, I just said 15th in good approach. Just tremendous, but $7,500, like give me that 38th as the low side, and then he's got top 5 upside. He's already done it here, did it 2 years ago. So I'll play some KH Lee this week. Bubble Boys Pendrith, love him. I just afraid how much he's going to get talked up this week. Had him last week, super low owned. I think he was literally, let's see if I can pull it. I think he was literally 3% in the $200 single entry, which is why, you know, because when I always saw only 3 of 6 was going to make it for me after the Lashley withdrawal, and then Ben Griffin tried a little bit hard but just couldn't get there at the end. I was like, well, I'm dead in the bullet. Let's see here. Yeah, 2.07% Pendrith, 7.92% Rose. Then I had Stallings also make the cut at 14%. Had Griffin miss at +1, Riley miss at +2, and Lashley withdraw at +1. So still cash, so it's great, but we're not going to get 2% Pendrith this week. Looked great last week. Finished very strong. I hope we get him low owned. $7,400. I'll take anything 12% or less. I'll have way overweight on him. I like him a lot this week. I've already bet on him. You know, so 4th in par 5 DK scoring, 9th in birdie or better, a 7th last week, like we mentioned, with a strong finish. I think he shot 8 under on round 4 Sunday, Monday. 15th in good drives. Actually 24th in the putting ball. So much about him I like this week. I think he could be in contention. Bubble Boys only because if we start seeing like he's the 7K guy for everybody, there's a lot of them, right? There's 37, which is a lot for normal weeks. So it will be spread out, but if he's like 20% and the next is 12, then I got to start thinking, all right, I know I'm eating some Cam Young. Can I afford to eat that much? We'll get in all that on E9 and stuff like that once we get deep dive tonight into tomorrow. 6K range, I like Stallings. I'll go back there. I just mentioned he was in my lineup last week. 3 out of 4 make-cuts here. All 3 have been top 36 or better. He has a 23rd, a 36th, and a 21st. Miscut once in 2019. Certainly much better player right now than he was then. 15th last week. 2nd in opportunity side 18 feet. 13th in good approach. 7th in birdie or better. $6,900 seems like a great price for him. Definitely someone I want to get to. Callan Taryn, mentioned it last week, and it kind of turned out that way. He's just a boom bust guy, right? He can get going. He can score. I guarantee you. I think he finished 65th with a horrible round 4, coming off an incredible round 3, different courses. But man, he can get going and fill up some birdies in a hurry. So he makes the cut. He normally finishes all right, $600-700. He's never played this course. It's probably the only one negative, but in his stats, just because he's so upside down at times, he's never going to pop and just stick out. He's just a guy, more of a gut feel play. I started talking about him in the fall swing a lot. I listened to a podcast he was on and loved his mentality. 20th in par 5 DK scoring, 25th in birdie or better. I'm willing to take some more chances on him. I'll go back to Calenterim. Jaeger, right there around there. I like him a lot. He's played here twice, a missed cut in the 62nd. So not the best course fit. The stats are good, though. 3rd in opportunities inside 18 feet. 1st in par 5 DK scoring. 12th in birdie or better. 24th in good approach. I love all that. He's made 3 straight made cuts coming in here, so he's played a lot. Sony, Amex, and Farmers. Didn't play last week. I kind of like that. Wasn't in the, drawn-out tournament. $6,600. These guys down here, I just need a little bit of life, and I'm going to take some chances on them. Vegas, only played here once, got a 10th, 25th at the Farmer, showed some life there. 6th in par 5 DK scoring, 23rd in good drives, 34th in good approach, 45th in irons, 119th in my putting ball. That'll probably be the negative. Not really factoring it that much. And he's $6,700. He's a guy I'll take some chances on as well. My current fade of the week would be Hovland. I think Hovland and JT is kind of who I've pegged when I was researching things last night that could wind up falling in that low owned, everybody moves off of for various reasons. Hovland probably a little more so. But JT's up there around some, the pricing, but he's had great history here. Missed a cut in 2017. He's finished 17th, 3rd, 13th, 8th. So I think he'll probably get some love there. I definitely would take a JT over Homa if the ownership is, where it needs to be. But I think Hovland's the guy that I probably will pass on in general. Just hasn't done well here at all in his 2 times. Small sample size, so I'm not putting that much into it. But stat-wise, he's 122nd in par 5 DK scoring, 90th in opportunity side 18 feet, 97th in birdie or better. He can pop it anytime, I get it, but $9,300, I want to spend my money elsewhere this week. Sleeper of the week, I'm going to go with Molnex. I've been on him a little bit lately. Missed a cut last week, 31st at Farmers. He's played here twice, a 15th and a missed cut. He's a guy I kind of expect that with. Really good stats, though. 11th in good drive, 17th in opportunity side 18 feet, 7th in par 5 DK scoring, 8th in birdie or better. I love all that. And for $7,100, that's a guy I want to get plenty of. I don't think he'll get that much ownership. When I'm thinking of this, I'm looking for guys around that 5% mark. He's a guy I got my eye on. Some gut feel plays for me. I like Jason Day coming in. Forms look really good. Took last week off, which I actually like now because I don't know how much that would have helped, with his back, that start and stop and all that. 18th at Amex, 7th in Farmers. Stats are going to be wonky with him because he's on the uptrend, right? And so the shorter you look, when we get in the deep dive, he's going to be a lot better last 12, 18, 24 versus 72. So you always got to keep that in mind with certain guys. Recent form, he ranks 5th for me right now. So I like that. I like his price. Brian Harmon, $7,400. I like him. Brendan Steele, a guy I've been on a little early this year. 30th at Amex, 20th at Farmers. He's hit or miss here. 3 made cuts, 3 missed cuts. But when he's made the cut, he's finished 16th, 3rd, and 30th. And I think he's hitting the ball really well at the tee right now. I definitely will have some of that. Another guy that can struggle putting, so I give a little upside there. On a week I'm not looking at as much. Kurt Kitayama, boy, did he hurt me, especially round 4. Oh, man. I mean, I had some really, really good lineups going that he destroyed because I had Pinterest round 4, and you got to remember he shot 8 or 9 under, 8 under. He wasn't that high owned going into it. I had a Rose, which a lot of people didn't go to. A lot of people played Hovland, but Kitayama destroyed me. I mean, he shot 4 over and had to make a hell of a par on 18 to save the 4 over. Maybe that image, because everybody's kind of watching it Monday morning, keeps people off of him, but $7K for his upside, I get it. He didn't finish strong. He looks okay, right? He finished 73rd and miscut 29th, but he literally was right there in the top 5 with a chance to win going into round 4. So 7th in good drive, 8th in good approach, 19th in opportunity side 18 feet, 20th in birdie or better. I like that. He's never played the course. That's probably the one not, but he's again, that's why he's a gut field play. Betting top 5 to pop and 2 long shots provided by Underdog and Prize Picks. I get my Prize Picks out on the Final Thoughts pod, and then I put it with the bets each night when I update matchups. When we have a normal tournament that isn't mid-round starting, it kind of throws off betting there a little bit. So I'll have those out tomorrow. Underdog, they've launched their majors best ball, which is awesome. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description of both of them. Same code GUP, get you a dollar for dollar match up to $100. We utilize both for many. I love the best balls on Underdog. You can get an advantage on them, especially the daily ones. They're still small daily ones you can do. Not a ton of big prizes, but really good way to build bankroll, especially utilizing our stuff in there. So go check those out. The majors is going to be fun. Some drafts are already going on. People may be drafting guys that may not even qualify for the Masters yet or whatever, and you certainly don't know all four. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes out. I was going to dive into it last week, but if you remember, that my father-in-law did pass away late last week, so it kind of threw off some things. Top 5 for me betting right now, like Cantley, I've seen him at a 20. M. Kim, both 25, 28 to 1. Young, 35 to 1. Some places 40. I missed the 45, but KH Lee, 80. Keith Mitchell, 80. Pendrith, or 2 long shots. I like Pendrith, 100, and Steele, 125. Maybe those are good, each way bets if you have them, or top 20 bets. We'll see how that goes on the final card. My top 5 for one and done. Remember, this is an elevated event, so we're talking, I think it's 3.6, almost 3.7 million to first, which is huge. You could that's the equivalent of probably 2.5, maybe 3, almost 3, but 2.5 for sure. Winners on quote unquote non-elevated events. So big week to get a guy right. Certainly no reason to save anybody at this point. I mean, there's plenty of stuff left, but getting one right this week would set you up well. I got it down to Cantley, Rory, M, Kim, and Scheffler right now are my current initial 5. I'll give out my final 5, of which I picked 3 for my 3 lineups tomorrow. Again, Wednesday nights around 6:30, 7:30, 6:37 Eastern. We go live for E9. Kenny will be joining me this week. It'll be fun to want to talk about. We don't have to worry about course rotations and, who plays when, where, and what weather. Maybe a little bit of wind, but nothing crazy. I think it's just going to be more of, where do you make your cuts up top? How much chalk do you eat where? That kind of stuff. Strategy type deals. And then tomorrow, Final Thoughts will be out as well per usual. Don't forget, Smash 20% off, includes a risk-free 7-day trial. If you just want to listen to the content or read the content, you don't want to do tools or anything like that, you can literally get in for $12 a week or $12 a month with that code if you do the annual content only. If you do want tools and optimizer and all that stuff, again, it covers all NFL, golf, and everything. $23 a month annually comes out to with that code. It's $279.99. So go check that out on the site. Smash 20% off. Risk-free 7-day trial included. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. A lot to do tonight with the deep dive, and then we'll be back tomorrow to wrap this thing up. Thanks. Appreciate it.